Hello grapplers and welcome to a new Zangief video. Today we're gonna talk about something very specific. This is gonna be a short video. In my time playing Zangief, I've seen a lot of comments in relation to Zangief weaknesses and how he lacks certain things. And while I do agree some things are really lacking with this character, some are just either misconceptions about Zangief, others are just plain wrong. So I have 4 points today. Zangief has no Oki. If you come from Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5, mainly Street Fighter 5, it is pretty common to assume Zangief has no Oki. The issue here is thinking about SPD or Burst Dynamite. Both of these moves give Zangief very lackluster Oki, but his other tools are really good for creating Oki situations. You have, for example, Neutral Throw, Body Slam, Spine Buster, Russian Suplex. Absolutely great Oki. I have a whole video about Oki and Zangief, and he surprisingly has a lot of situations where he can keep the pressure. Zangief has no poking. I think the reason players assume Zangief has no Oki is because of his medium attacks. All of his mediums are really weak to DI. With the exception of Crouching Medium Punch, but this one has no range. One might assume Zangief has trouble poking people. Zangief has really good poking, but most of his really good pokes come from heavies and lights. His Crouching Light Punch is really good at establishing pressure. Same with the Standing Light Kick, Standing Light Punch. If you're over here and you don't know what button you can use, Standing Heavy Punch usually always hits. Now with Standing Heavy Punch, you have to use the 3 forms of a Standing Heavy Punch. Regular one, holding the button slightly, and fully charged Standing Heavy Punch. I do agree Zangief does not have the best poking into something. Usually Zangief just pokes. Other characters can poke going to a combo, and that's true. You just have to be careful with your mediums, but he has great poking with the Standing Heavy Punch, which is a great tool for almost every single matchup. You have a long sweep, which is punishable, so use it carefully. But these 2 buttons cover distance, and if you're close, you can harass the opponent with Crouching Light Punches or Standing Light Punch and use this as a weak punisher. Zangief has no defense. Now this is a little difficult to really assess, because if you're in the corner as a Zangief player, you have no tools to escape. You do have Jump Cancel SPD, but that is situational. That only works if the opponent is trying to shimmy you with a grab or trying to do a meaty grab. The problem with Zangief is burnout. When he's in burnout, then you're mostly dead. Unless you have super level 3 or you use super level 2 in very specific situations. Super level 2 is very weak to lights. If the opponent goes for a meaty grab, with super level 2, very likely you'll catch them. Super level 3 covers almost every defense situation. The opponent has to respect your super level 3. However, again, if you have no meter and you're in burnout, very likely you will get hit and you will get stunned. Saying Zangief has absolutely no defense is very specific. You can parry, you can use your supers. The problem is basically meaty lights. And also, if you're getting pressure in the corner and you backdash, Zangief backdash is not the best, so you're usually minus. But overall, I wouldn't say he has no defense. It's mostly he's very dependent on meter. He doesn't have a good super level 1, which could help him escape the corner without getting damaged. He depends on super level 2 and 3. So if you're in burnout and you have no meter, you're basically gonna get punished and die in the corner. But otherwise, I'd say he's not really that weak as people make it out to be, because super level 3 is a great super for almost everything. If your opponent is being very aggressive, you can definitely do super level 3. They changed level 2 to beat lights. I don't think that would change that much for defense with Zangief. You would only need to use super level 2 carefully. I don't think he's that weak on defense, mainly because you will always have this. And the final one is Zangief has no anti-airs. I've seen a lot of people talking about Lariat whiffing, and I think the problem with Lariat is how people are using Lariat. It is not a great move. It will whiff sometimes, but if you use Lariat as you're supposed to, it will whiff against special moves, but not necessarily jump ins. This is a pretty common jump. Someone jumping from afar. Here Lariat is very easy to use. What is the issue? I think that people are using way too many buttons in the neutral, especially medium ones. If someone jumps and you're whiffing a medium punch, there's nothing you can do and they'll blame Lariat because they're not recovering in time. Or they might be doing something like... And Lariat doesn't work there. Lariat is pretty slow. Lariat and OD Lariat have no, basically, upper body invincibility. The only difference is the speed of both Lariats. What you need to do is reduce the amount of buttons you're pressing in the neutral. Just wait. Wait and see them jumping. If for some reason you're whiffing buttons, you whiff your lights. Specifically, this one, which recovers in 8 frames, and this one, which recovers in 9 frames. You can still recover fast enough to hit them with Lariat. I do recommend using more OD Lariat if you are not sure if your Lariat is going to hit, because that is way faster and you can catch them way easier. I know over here, likely, you will with your Lariat. That is normal. Lariat doesn't have a good cross-up hitbox. In fact, it doesn't have any. So in some situations, cross-ups, Blanka doing Blanka balls, other characters jumping over Zangief, you will struggle there and you will have to use something like back jump, light kick, or parry. This is not a good example with Guile, but some people like to do something like this. And then jump neutral with a heavy punch. Depending on the jump and the amount of frames, you can wake up OD Lariat. Otherwise, you can always parry, something that works for every single purpose. And that is the main issue with his anti-airs. Because we're talking about Lariat. You still can't use it at level 1. This is very complicated to use, very situational. You can also use this thing. Or basically, jump headbutt. Or OD burst in some situations. So he has anti-airs, but usually the people talk about Lariat as the main issue. And certainly Lariat can be used in almost every single jump in, with the exceptions of really meaty jumping heavy attacks, or moves that have some movement in the air that don't allow Zangief to cross-cut the Lariat. He's not as bad as people make it out to be. He has issues, he has weaknesses, but it's not like impossible. Because some people really think Zangief is like the worst character in the game. Thanks as always. I hope you'll really like this video. And remember also that I stream on twitch.tv/SiberianLab. Take care, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.